Hey guys, Banana Luck here. Welcome back to another Water Realms video. We're back on the task server today because we have a couple of new heroes that have come up, and we are going to be focusing on the Infernal units this time round. And this time we're going to focus on Gretchen. Now, her intro text is all in Chinese, but let's watch her intro video and get a quick look of what she is supposed to be. I think that unit on the poster is what's leaked so far, right? Like since the last time around, we had that robot-looking thingy. I think that's that. But it's just a picture of it though. Now it makes me think that the new unit is gonna be the new Arbiter Lord because yeah, he's on a shrine. And I apologize if we should be focusing on Gretchen here, but yeah, that unit has just showed up way too many times recently. Maybe it's an Infernal Lord actually, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's the Infernal Lord. But yeah, that's Gretchen. No looks of her really, like you don't really see any combat or whatnot. And in the story, let's see. She was appointed a Confessor of Supreme Arbiters. I guess she's Sin. And then there's this Oren. Balderon. Oren. I think Oren could be the new unit that we are looking at. I don't know. It looks like that's the other unit. But yeah, that's Gretchen. And she's an Infernal Chaotic unit, so likely going to be Ancient exclusive. And as usual, most of these chaotic units are going to be somewhat useful in Arena, but let's have a look. Now, max stats, 17k HP, that's slightly lower than usual. And then we have an attack of 5.2k almost. Attack interval 2.6 seconds, that's fairly reasonable. And then we have her attack range over here. That's slightly better than the normal Zilla 2 range. And yeah, let's take a look at her kit. When deployed, plants Searing Banner. After planting the banner, it gains 1 stack of energy whenever allied heroes within the hero's ultimate range takes damage 4 times, up to 5 stacks. So you need to take 20 stacks of damage. Now, first thing that I see here, when Dracula does Soul Rot, do they count towards the banner damage? That's going to be interesting. And the hero absorbs all energy from the banner when casting her ultimate. Each stack of energy absorbed, she deals 180% damage to one random enemy within basic attack range 1 time, and then dispels 1 buff from it. So 5 stacks will mean that she can dispel 5 stacks of buffs basically. And yeah, continuously inflicts damage reduction of 30% on one enemy in the ultimate range. And then raises Searing Banner when casting the ultimate and plants it again when it ends. So it means that she picks it up and then she doesn't gain any of the stacks, I'm guessing. And then she puts it back down when the ultimate ends. Now, physical attack, 120% damage to one enemy, pretty standard. And let's see the first passive. During the ultimate, applies Regen to the hero and 3 of the nearest allied heroes within Searing Banner's range. They are neither healers nor defenders. I love this already because Soul Rot is still applying to healers at the moment. If Searing Banner has full stacks of energy when activating, additionally grants crit damage increase of 60% to all allies, I guess. Because the Rage Regen is applied to 3 allies, right? So I would assume that the Searing Banner does the exact same thing as well. And Rage Regen, we're seeing 1.5%, very similar to Akira there. So we are getting a lot more units these days that are offering Rage Regen in their kit, even though they're not healers, and I think that's really neat. And then second passive, Unrepentance, increases damage against enemies inflicted with burning by 20%. For every 1 stack of banner energy, increases the final damage of basic attack by 10%. So you're gonna get 50% damage increase at max. During the ultimate, the number of Searing Banner energy stacks counted for this effect is fixed to the value when the ultimate is activated. So it means that the stacks will be recorded when the ultimate is activated, not change throughout the actual ultimate when, you know, more units actually take damage. So that's an interesting one. Damage increase in arena, she's just gonna get 15% more. That's a bit of a bummer because the cost is pretty high at 18, so I'm not sure if she'll actually be good there. But yeah, let's move on to the ultimate. During the ultimate, increases attack by 50%, becomes immune to debuffs, and when the HP is higher than 30%, causes HP drain, and each basic attack lands 2 consecutive strikes instead and inflicts burning. If basic attack attacks different targets, reduces the interval by 20% for 5 seconds, and this duration goes up to 25. And the cost at 700, it is slightly lower than average. Now, you can see when she does her ultimate, she has a very interesting range. She basically goes into alien range, more than that, and she can attack the back of her as well. But I think what I'm most interested in by this is the fact that she is going to be able to attack more units in AMR, because she's going to be able to attack units on other lanes as well instead of her usual range. Now, very interesting kit. The ultimate has 50% attack increase, so I think that makes up for the slightly low base damage here. And with damage reduction in her kit, I don't know, it's only during the ultimate, so it might not be that reliable for like Abyss, for example. But yeah, that's Gretchen. And now let's take a look at her awakenings. If Searing Banner's energy is at full stacks, gains an extra 30% penetration when casting the ultimate, lasting until the next ultimate is cast. That's crazy. There's straight up 30% penetration throughout the entire fight, basically, if you always get the banner energy at full stacks. Furthermore, the next time Searing Banner is planted, immediately gains 2 stacks of energy. Wow, okay. The A1 is huge. I would say that the A1 on all the new units so far has been looking pretty good. A2 is going to be flat attack. A3 during the ultimate, after each basic attack, reduces attack interval by 6% up to a maximum reduction of 30%, lasting until the ultimate ends. Wow, okay. She is going to be built around her ultimate for quite a fair bit. You get 30% penetration, and then you get 30% reduced interval. A4 is going to be penetration, and then A5, Mark of Betrayal now affects 1 extra allied hero. Now, this is not too crazy. Maybe it is, but not in arena for sure. It's probably going to be very useful in Abyss 2 when it comes out, because you will need more heroes to actually get that rage regen and the crit damage increase. But wow, okay, she sounds like she has very good awakenings here. But that's Gretchen. Very interesting kit. I'm very interested to find out if the Dracula damage from Soul Rod actually helps to plant the energy, because if it does, then those 2 units will go hand in hand pretty much in most of the content here. But yeah, that's Gretchen for you. I don't believe she has any exclusive artifacts, if I can just confirm here. Yeah, the only bummer here is going to be probably the fact that she's Ancient exclusive. But other than that, very interesting unit that's coming up next. So yeah, let's get into some testing. We'll try to put her in different scenarios, see how she works out, and especially test out how the hero works mechanics-wise. But yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so we're back with some videos on Gretchen. We want to further test her out and also to examine some of the mechanics that she has and how do they actually operate. So let's get into it with a guild boss fight, because that's the best way to, you know, test these things out without any other external factors. And to do this, we will need some healers that do not offer rage regen, because we want to test out rage regen as a part of a kit to see how it works. So let me just remove that. Now with layer, and let's get it. So first things first is we want to test out how the banner gathers the energy stacks. So once you place down Gretchen, you can see the 5 op indicators on top of her. And then we put more units down here. I think we need 5 damage instances to get 1 stack. So 3 more hits here. If we get 1 stack, then we know that, yeah, that's how it works for sure. The rest of the units don't actually take any damage because the guild boss on the easiest difficulty only does damage to, you know, brown tile units. Okay, that's up. Now we have 2 more hits to... Oh, okay, there you go. Actually, it was 4 hits. I gained 1 stack. So that's how you gain these stacks to actually get the banner to full energy. Now, obviously, when you're taking a look at later endgame content, you're going to be taking damage a lot more frequently. But what I mentioned in my initial review of her skill kit was that does Soul Rod work with her? Because she is part chaotic. So if Soul Rod works with her, then it's going to be incredibly powerful in the sense that she's going to gain her stacks very easily. And that's going to always give her, you know, that max stack, which gives that 60% crit damage increase. And it also is going to give her 50% extra damage on her basic attacks. And then on the Searing Banner itself, it's going to do 900% extra damage for each stack and dispel debuffs from them. So this triggered once every 3 times, but I think the 900% burst is, you know, what makes most of the kit valuable. So yeah, oh, when the banner energy reaches full energy stack, additional stacks will instead restore 100 rage. So let's see how that works out. So we have 2 more things to have a look at here. So first of all, we're gonna put Gretchen down, and then layer, and then let's do Dracula down. And yeah, you start seeing it very obviously. She's gaining stacks like nobody business. And then let's cast the ultimate here. And then during the ultimate cast, we see the 60% crit damage. Only applies on the attacking units. So healers, defenders are excluded. We also get a 1.5% rage. Same thing, it does not apply to the healers. So yeah. But what I'm curious about is whether or not this gives us full stacks back, because we did so much overheal in terms of the damage. We're definitely getting more stacks than we got earlier. So we'll wait a bit more this time. See if we actually get more stacks. If we only cast the ultimate at the next, you know, shield. We're gonna cast it now because it says that every extra stack gives you 100 rage. I'm gonna see if waiting a bit more is gonna give you more rage. No, it looks like it still gives the same. So I'm not too sure what's the threshold there, but for sure she's gonna synergize really, really well with Count Dracula. You also see the 1.5% rage that we had earlier when she cast her ultimate, as well as the 60% crit damage increase. So that's a good thing. It does mean that she has some potential in Arena, which we need to test out. The concern is that her cost is incredibly high at 18 cost, and it's going to be much harder to put down compared to Sergei or Wukong. That's the only thing that we're concerned about. Beyond that though, it's very clear that we get the crit damage once we get the full stacks. We also get the rage regen. We saw that very clearly. So it's 1.5% for 25 seconds, which adds up to 37.5%. That's why she started off with 37.5% rage. Now, the weird thing here is that it says that Searing Banner, when the banner ends and reaches full energy stacks, additional stacks will instead restore 100 rage. We don't really see that extra 100 rage kicking in, so that part is a bit odd. But beyond that, I think most of the other mechanics that we want to take a look at, it's more or less there. Now it's more of just testing her in other content to see whether she works out. Now, she's Infernal, and we know that the game is pushing towards Infernals being a part of Abyss team. So in Abyss itself, I don't think we even need Count Dracula to get the full stacks because it's always going to be there probably. But it is interesting how the 37.5% rage is going to come in handy, especially since most teams don't actually run rage regen. So if this is applied to the hero and 3 nearest allied heroes within range, it could mean a lot of things. It could mean that Wukong or Kigiri could get another round of ultimate or something when they don't usually do so. So yeah, that's Gretchen, that's the showcase. We are gonna test her out in a separate video, taking a closer look at Abyss, as well as artifact material rate. And then for Gretchen specifically, we want to take a look at, how she fares in Arena, because she is part chaotic. But yeah, that's gameplay for the video. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any other questions, leave it down in the comment section below. And let's say if you enjoyed the content, feel free to leave a like or subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.